Good morning, lovely people. How are you all today? I hope you're good. Now, I say good morning. Mornings are never good for me. I'm so not a morning person. It's just gone 8 o'clock. Oh my goodness. In an ideal world, I would get up at noon each day and poodle on till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm definitely one of those people who is wide awake and full of life at midnight. Yeah, I'm a night owl, I'm not a morning lark. That was fine when I was an actress because, you know, work in the afternoon, do a matinee, work in the evening, do the evening show, finish work by 11 o'clock, go out, have dinner, go out dancing, partying, out till 4 in the morning, loved it, and then I can sleep all morning. It doesn't really suit being a little mini farmer though, does it? So I've dragged myself here this morning kicking and screaming for 2 reasons. One, because of this heat we've been having. I find it really, anything over sort of 22, 23 degrees, I find that I love it, I absolutely love it, but I'm only fit for doing the little pottering jobs like gently sowing seeds or gently weeding, not for doing anything more physical. But the main reason I'm here this morning at this time is because last night we had some rain, yay! And I'm hoping that means I can get onto bed 3 today and start to break down those massive clods somewhat today. So bed 3 and 4, if you remember, with the beds that had the green manure, the field beans in over winter. End of February, very beginning of March, they were trimmed down to stop them growing, leave all that greenery on the surface, continue to protect the soil, let it all wilt down, then end of March, I'm trying to remember my timescale now, turn it all in. Great. The soil was so wet and heavy and claggy, it was absolutely horrible to do, but got it done, great. The idea then is that it's fallow for about 4 weeks because that nitrogen will be too high as the plant's decomposing, to then basically by the end of April, beginning of May, begin to think about direct sowing. Excuse me. So in the past, when I've done that, so turn it all in by the middle of March, at the end of March, by about the middle of April, I can go back over it and just break it down a little bit more. I'm never going to have a fine tilth here. It's just not going to happen. But I can break it down a bit, so it's a bit finer, so I can actually sow some seed into it. But this sunshine and heat came out of nowhere, caught me on the hop. I didn't have a chance to break it down, so what I've ended up with is, honestly, they're like balls of concrete. My potato trenches are particularly bad. I don't know how the potatoes are even going to come up. They're just showing. But in terms of earthing them up, I can't be dragging that earth over them because it's actually like balls of rubble. So that's why I'm here early this morning, to try and make the most of hopefully this rain softening the soil a bit so I can break it down a bit. But also I'm hoping this morning to have a delivery. I'm not sure what time, but when I saw Gary on Friday, yes, it's Friday morning, we semi-arranged that Sunday morning would be the morning he would bring down the grapevine that he's taking out of his garden at home that's surplus to his requirement. We've been chatting about it since last November, so I'm finally, hopefully this morning, going to get the grapevine and get that put in as well. But before that, I need to start breaking that soil down. It is, even though we've had this rain, it is going to be hard work. There's no two ways about it. And it's funny, I was talking about this with someone the other day about how when our plots become available and we get someone new on the plots, quite often they sort of give up within just a few months, because I think a lot of people have a lovely notion of having an allotment and, oh, growing your own veggies, but don't realise the work it requires. And even if you're no dig, there's still quite a lot of work, because when you are first setting up for no dig, you're having to cart in compost and manure and all that kind of stuff. So The truth is, having an allotment to grow your own veggies is, at times of the year, sheer hard work. But it's gorgeous. And we're in a beautiful setting, and the birds are singing, the sun's coming up. So yeah, it's hard work, but it's beautiful out there. So I'm going to get out there and make the most of it. And then when we get to the height of summer and everything is growing, I'll look back and I'll think, yeah, that hard work was worth it. So if you're at that stage now, don't give up. Persevere. Just push yourself to do it every day or whenever you can. Just even when you think, oh, I can't face it today, get to your garden, do a bit of the work, because honestly you'll be so rewarded once your veggies start coming in and you're noshing them. Right, let's get into the garden and do some digging.
Summertime just comes around once a year, boy. Summertime just comes around once a year. And if the sun is shining, don't you be inside crying, 'cause summertime just comes around once a year, boy. Let me see the sunlight on your skin, girl. Let me see the sunlight on your skin. It's getting hard, let's take it off. You get the beer, I'll find the pot, and let's feel the sunlight on our skin, girl. How the hell could you ever be depressed, boy? How the hell could you ever be depressed? The girl who you know is the best, who talks to you and her in a nest. How the hell could you ever be depressed, boy? They say to make it while the sun shines. They say to make it while it shines. I'm not making hay, but I'll make you every damn day, girl, if you come back to me and be my sunshine. Summertime just comes around once a year, boy. Summertime just comes around once a year. And if the sun is shining, don't you be inside crying, 'cause summertime just comes around once a year, boy.
Oh, go on, Bennett. Nearly there. Vivi. Oh, Rome wasn't built in a day. This pot wasn't dug in a day. Oh, I need water. so close. It's so far. Water. Wow. No two ways about it. That has been hard work. The rain didn't do anything last night, so I've got blisters. Well, not blisters, it's just my old calluses that I get on this hand coming up. Yeah, I don't want to sugarcoat what allotment life is like. There is so much of it which is heavenly and bliss, especially the sitting down with your friends at dusk as we did last night, having a few G&Ts and just lapping up the gorgeous warm air. But like I said, that was some seriously horrible, vile hard work. I'm not afraid of hard work, and I think, you know, it's a lesson for all of us, with, especially if you've just got a new plot and you're thinking, oh, you know what, just accept that some of it is going to be hard work. Just accept it and get on with it, because the sooner you accept it and get on with it, the sooner your plot is ready for growing something in. And what I've just done with, you can probably, actually maybe from the camera angle you can't see how that plot is shaping up. It's going to have a little path down the middle, because the bean arches either side mean I can't get in from the sides. So it's going to have a little path down the middle and then the TPs along. So what I've been doing, sort of trying to break it up today, and I don't have a mattock and I don't have a long-handled cultivator. I lent it to someone and I've never had it back, never mind. So the rake has had to suffice. But what I've done is, as I'm working on one side, I keep alternating my lead arm, so that as I'm doing it, the lead arm muscles fatigue, swap, give the other muscles a workout, keep swapping. And also, hopefully by doing that, by using lots of different muscles, alternating between your muscles, and also I've done a little row on one side, done a little row on the other, so that my back isn't stuck on one side for too long. So just be mindful of that when you're doing some heavy horrid work. I'm dripping with sweat, it's 10 o'clock and I'm dripping. Yeah, just be mindful if you're doing quite heavy work to do a little bit in one position, then try to change position. And if you can't change position, sort of every 5 minutes or so, stop what you're doing and have a stretch in the opposite direction. Just keep those muscles moving in all the directions so they don't tighten up and turn into a knot and go into spasm. Whew. What I've also done is I've done each sort of about 1.20 metre, 1.50 or so of breaking it up. Because the sun is so hot and strong already, I'm getting it covered in cardboard, because I don't want any, you know, too much of that moisture down there to evaporate, nor do I want my now smaller clumps to bake into concrete. So I'm having a couple of minutes break, having some water. I'm covered in sun cream, don't worry about that. I did that before I even left the house. So I'm going to do a 5-minute break in the shade with my water, and then I'm going to empty my main compost bin from last year and start to make mounds of compost where the 3 TPs on each side will be, because the squash are quite greedy feeders. And because I'm hoping to underplant them all, there's even more plants going to be fighting for nutrients. So I'm going to try and get that compost up now. There's not a huge amount of compost, which is one of the reasons when people are talking to me about doing no dig and I can't get material for free. Of course I use my garden compost, but I actually don't make a huge amount, because obviously everything that gets cut down from the garden goes in the compost. But in terms of what I make at home, there's not really much. A few onion skins generally, because I don't peel my veg, and for the most part I don't in terms of topping and tailing, say carrots and parsnips, I don't take their tails off. I do cut the tops off because I don't want to eat the fronds. But yeah, I just don't make very much compost at home, because, you know, I don't drink coffee, I don't have many hot drinks at all really, just occasional cup of peppermint tea or chamomile tea, and I tend to have drink them as tea bags, and I do then save them and put them but it's a minuscule amount. Anyway, I'm digressing, sorry. So there's hardly any compost. I mean, I literally, by the end of the year, had those 2 bins full, absolutely chock full, which is why I then put the chickpeas into the big flower pots, if you remember. But now when I'm coming to it, that bin that's been going longest, it's down to about, it's barely a foot deep. But whatever's there, I'm going to use, get it onto where the teepees are going to go. I'm also going to spread a load of chicken muck today, and then I'm going to get it covered with cardboard again, because I don't want it to bake. Hopefully the cardboard will attract some worms as well, and they'll hopefully start moving the compost for me. And then in about, I think about 2 weeks' time, we're due a few rainy days. So when we're due those, I'm going to whip the cardboard off again and see if I can get the soil bashed down a little bit finer. I'm hoping by then it will be easier because of that work I've done today. So, whew, don't be scared of hard work. Accept that it's part of having an allotment. Pace yourself, have lots of rests, have your water, and then when you've done the hard work, arrange to meet up with some friends outside your shed for some cake and tea, or if it's the evening, a G&T or a glass of wine, and give yourself a little reward. Whew, right, back out there. There we go. Let the worms do a bit of work. Come back in about 4 weeks when I'm ready to plant. Turn it in a bit. Woo. But in the meantime, protect it. What a gorgeous breeze. Thank goodness, because it's getting mighty warm. So as I said earlier, I'm hoping to see Gary today with the new grapevine, the new second-hand grapevine. So I'm just going to get this hole prepared for it. I don't know actually how big it's going to be, how much root, so I'm going to do a generous hole. Now, because I've never grown, oh wormy, you can sit in there with its soil, because I've never grown a grapevine before, I've been doing a little bit of looking up online. Good old Mr. Google, good old YouTubers. And what I understand is they don't want the soil to be enriched for the first couple of years. So even though it might feel like sort of common sense, intuitive to maybe add some chicken poo down here and some compost, well, from everything I've read, it's a no-no. Oh, let's go to Australia. Is it any cooler in Australia? The heat is astonishing for us at this time of year, but it does make everything slightly more hard work. But you can see how once I've gone down even a couple of inches, the soil is really wet down here. And that's what I mean about Goethe. Your intuition sort of tells you to add some organic matter down here. But, like I say, everything I've read says no. And I'll do it. Phew! Time for about a litre of water. Right, come on Gary, I want to see my grapevine, I'm excited! Yay! I think I'm just gonna, I'm gonna leave that bucket there, it weighs a ton. Yes! Brand new pond! How exciting is that? Actually, this whole fence is going to be brand new. The grapevine, the gotcha, the loofah, which have all hatched. Not hatched, germinated. It's too much sun. Crikey, it's getting hot again. Wasn't it about 2 weeks ago, at the start of the video when I was talking about doing the winter sowing, when I said I'd made that promise to not talk about the weather anymore? I can't help it. Yeah, so it's about 11:30. The mercury's just jumped. I can really feel it. So I'm old enough and ugly enough to be wise enough to know that it's time to hightail it out of here. There's a really lovely breeze, which if you're just sitting is absolutely gorgeous, but I've got work to do at home, so I might as well get home, get on with things, and then I can always come back this evening when it's a bit cooler and do some watering if it's needed. So I'm really glad I made the effort to come down this morning. It has been hard work, my hands are hurting, but you know, it's a start on bed number 3, and you can probably begin to see how it's going to take shape. I'm dead excited about it. I'm really excited for everything this year actually, because obviously I've dug that hole now for the grapevine, and I did chat with Gary about it and said, you know, what if we miss? And he said, oh, I'll plant it for you. So as a gift that he's given to me, the least I can do is make sure there's a hole there for him. But one of my other plot neighbours grows quite a lot of grapes too, so we just got chatting. I was asking him about sort of care and things like that, and he's just taken me into his private back garden, because he's one of these people fortunate enough to live right near the allotment, backing onto it. Yeah, so he's just taken me into his private garden to show me 2 of his really established vines in the garden. They're gorgeous. He's got them trained over these beautiful sort of metal arches he's made from junk and old tools he's welded together. It's absolutely stunning, and it's got me almost hyperventilating with excitement. And then I was chatting to him about the other things I'm going to grow on the fence this year, so the akocha and the loofah, because obviously it's going to take a little while for that grapevine to get established, especially because it's been hacked a bit and transplanted. So I think probably over the next couple of years I will grow other stuff on the fence until the grape gets established. So I was just chatting with my neighbour about the kocha and the loofah, and it's just got all my excitement going again. I can't wait. I've no idea what they'll produce or if they'll produce, but literally 6 days after planting, I think I've got 2/3 of the kocha have germinated, and about 1/3 of the loofah have germinated, both the sanded, slightly scarified seeds I did, and the non-scarified seeds. So they're all coming up. So what I have to hope to do now is I can nurture them to adulthood so that they can produce for me. Isn't it great trying new things? I love it. You know, it's kind of always a bit of a dilemma because of space. So I wouldn't want to be taking up masses of space with something new for the sake of having to get rid of something else that I know is a good cropper. But if you've got a bit of space, try something new. Yay! Have a look at what your neighbours are doing. Say, oh, what's that plant? You might get some seeds for next year. Woohoo! Oh, by the way, in the background, can you see? I've plaited a bit of the little whippy bits of the neighbour's vine. Not that neighbour, it's a different neighbour. To make my final arch for the bean arches, but it really is a two-handed job, so I'm going to leave it for now. There's no desperate hurry, and then when one of the girls is around or something, I'll see if they can give me a hand. It's another really happy day. I think it's time for me to say cheerio though, because it is hot. My tummy's rumbling for some lunch. I need to get out of the sun. I need to think about doing other things. I really don't want to. I want to sit in the garden all day and just daydream. I need a hammock. I'm starting to daydream. Stop it, Vivi. Right, I hope you guys are having finally some of your snow melting. I hope you're getting some sunshine. I hope if you've got it like us that you're enjoying it. Whatever you're up to, have fun doing it. Have a positive attitude. This is what makes the world go round, isn't it? Yeah. I'm off to daydream. I'll see you all again really soon, I hope. But in the meantime, take care and enjoy yourselves.